What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to yet again another Getting to Know the Artist. I am Wiggles, and today we are here with Sam. I'm going to murder this name. How do you pronounce that, sir?
Astaroth.
Astra. All right, I was having a bad time typoing it. He's like, you got to fix that, or I'm not coming on. No, I'm just kidding. My fault about that. How you doing, man? Thank you so very much for coming on to the stream.
Whoop whoop! It's nice to be here myself. Thank you for having me. Excited to play the Gathering this year. So good to do interviews, connect with the Juggalo fam, and get ready for like the whole festival experience. So happy to be here.
Absolutely. We're gonna talk more about that gathering experience, but for now, let's get started with just the basic question, get to know you a little better. What is your name? Where was you born and raised? And where do you currently live right now?
My artist name Sam Astaroth. I was born and raised until 15-ish in Bangladesh. It's in South Asia, beside India. And then I moved here to Canada, Toronto, Canada at 15, and I've been here for like last 25 years.
No kidding. So you're not even in America, huh? That's freaking awesome. I think you're probably I don't think I've interviewed anybody that doesn't live here or ain't from here. That's beautiful. Thank you. And did So I'm guessing your family chose to move to Canada then, or was that you on your own, or
just with my family? I'm not really close to them now, but back then, yeah, we just mom and dad, sister, and me, we just moved here.
Absolutely. Okay, fair enough. My second question now, this is where you can touch down a little bit on what we talked in the back about or whatever. I normally ask, are you a juggalo? How long have you been down with the clowns? And do you consider yourself a juggalo rapper? But none of that is technically true. So I'm going to ask you a little differently. I'm going to say, I'll still ask, and you can tell us. How did you first hear about juggalos? You don't, and then do you consider yourself a juggalo or not? Obviously, you gave me a little input on this background or in the back, backstage. Let's see. I'm trying to think of a different way to word it for you. What's the first ICP song that you heard?
Probably What is a Juggalo? Because I think I first heard about it like way back. I grew up with the hip hop scene, so ICP is a big part of the hip hop scene as well. So I kind of learned about Insane Clown Posse through maybe Tech 9 because there's like connection with them. So I was just like checking out ciphers and all these things, and I just like seeing them like collaborate and him playing festivals. I was following him around, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. These guys are very different. There's like horror vibe on the music. So maybe like 15, 20 years ago, like I first heard about them. And then I've followed around like the hip hop scene before going into the metal scene. And then similar thing, the Juggalo Gathering has a lot of metal bands as well. So
right.
I just been following around through like last 15, 20 years. And they're a big part of like the metal scene, and they've kind of created a culture that brings in just about anybody from any music genre. I think it's not even about the genre; it's more about the inclusivity, culture, and just bringing together a good vibe. Like I've been into wrestling, so I've seen the Gathering pop up. I'm like, they have wrestling. I've been into like, for my interest, been to sideshows. I've seen Gathering Juggalos. They have sideshows,
Right.
so it's been like popping up all over my feed for years and years. And even me moving into the metal scene, I've been in the black metal scene, which does corpse paint, and Juggalos do their clown paint. They're very related. Corpse paint, clown paint, they're white and black. Maybe culturally, black metal people are very like different. They're very like, we only like black metal. But I grew up with the hip hop scene, and then black metal, industrial, goth, and all these like rap and all these other genres. So I've never really
Now,
fit into any one thing. So yeah, you could say as part of a specifically being like labeling myself as a juggalo rapper, I kind of have my own brand of music I've developed over time. I call my music brand DEMONCORE. So and I don't really fit into any genre because I do
right.
whatever I want. So in that way, I feel like a juggalo fam is like probably the one community I fit into the most, because any specific genre scene I tried being a part of, I always feel a bit like of an
Out of
outsider.
place and out. Yeah. That's one, and I don't mean to cut you off. You're making some valid points as an outsider looking in, and I don't say outsider in a negative way. You're very, it seems humbling to our culture and community, and I appreciate that. But I completely agree with like what you're saying. So a lot of just if you go to any kind of niche, or if niche is the word, or group or labeled band or whatever, you're usually gonna find that like, oh, you're not one of us or you are. Whereas with us, it's literally, it's not even about. I mean, it is the music is a big part of it, but it doesn't matter what you like or who, you know what I'm saying, because that's the
Yeah.
point. Is we accept everybody in all walks of life. It's about the family, the culture, and uplifting each other and looking out for your homie and having a good time. The
Yeah.
music's the plus, man. So, and I feel like maybe our culture is meant for you. I do. I am curious. You said like Southeast Asia, right? Is
South
where
Asia, yeah.
you're South Asia. Is there any kind of a Juggalo influence there? Do they even know what a Juggalo is or ICP? And
Probably
I've
not.
and I've only met like a handful of like Canadian Juggalos, really. So I don't know if the influence is big where you live currently.
In Toronto, yeah, because I have Juggalo friends here who would regularly go to gatherings and then concerts, and like they will dress up like in their Juggalo face paints and all that, and like they have full
Right.
costumes. So I have friends in Toronto who's been a part of the scene for a long time. Toronto's very multicultural, diverse, so uh, there's a lot of that in Toronto. Back home, like I haven't really gone back since moving here, so probably not really, like no one really knows about much of the Western culture to begin with. Maybe they know something.
Right.
I haven't even really been there to know, but in Toronto, like everybody knows about the Juggalo culture, and like just I have friends that are like in the culture. I don't have
Right.
musician friends, but I have like people who attend. My musician friends who are from like the Juggalo fam, and they go to the gathering, are basically all from the States.
Okay. That's fair. I was just curious. But enough about that. Let's get to know you better. What inspired you to start making music? What was that switch that said, "Hey, I think I can do this, and I want to take it serious"?
Uh, I was really badly abused when I was a kid, and that got me to like separate from myself from my parents. And then I was probably lost for like a while. I didn't really know what to do. I like rapped for fun in high school, put out mixtapes, but that wasn't like serious. But um, when I got into my late 20s, finished college, and I was working like really shit jobs, so I was like, man, I'm gonna be 28 and I'm not really doing anything interesting. And just growing up, just had a lot of bullshit happen. So it got me to take music more seriously when I was 28, and at the time I was really into like black death metal, so that's what I started like doing music seriously with. And I started my own band called Astaroth Incarnate, and that's where like I got my Astaroth name from, Sam Astaroth. And yeah, we used to make music like Flesh, God Apocalypse, Cradle of Filth, Behemoth, Demon Borgir, and like all these symphonic black metal bands. At first, we didn't have like these orchestrals And then later on we had these, and I did that for 8 years. And my whole theme this whole time of doing music has been, at first it was for like self-healing, and later on it became more about self-empowerment. So through my music, I do the same thing. I try to write, whether it sounds positive or negative or angry or happy or whatever. It's generally about self-empowerment and just like promoting individualism, like promoting people to like believe in themselves and standing up for, like, doesn't matter who they are or what they believe in, just like really just standing your ground. So I had to do that to survive. I'm going to be 40 this year, so it's been, you know, rough ride maybe, but yeah, getting into
Absolutely.
music kind of helped me, you know, get through a lot of rough patches. And then throughout the years, like, I ended my band because of maybe genre or scene limitation, because I wasn't allowed to like rap in a black metal band, obviously. So I was like, yo, I want to rap, I want to sing, I want to scream. Like, a lot of ICP songs have like a lot of like horrorcore rap, and then sometimes they're singing. There's like
there's storytelling and rapping.
Yeah, there's a lot of like cool elements of that. But there isn't like necessarily a genre limitation. There's Ouija that kind of has its own vibe. There's also Twisted, and like a lot of the other artists that are connected to the Juggalo community, they're just from all over. Like last year, I think Kim Dracula played, and then I seen 2019, I think Ghostbane played.
Listen, Kim Dracula made a fan out of me last year because I looked that man up before the gathering because I seen his announcement and I didn't really care for it. And then I seen him live, and oh my god, he like screamed, and I'm like,
Yeah.
So
he's like a really oddball. I would put him in the Ghostbane category, where like that's where my music evolved to when I was able to go solo and kind of like evolve, like just do whatever I want. I like looked into artists like Ghostbane, Kim Dracula, where they just do whatever they want. They don't have any limitations in terms of who they collaborate with or what genre they do. And I really wanted to do that. And I feel like now I can do that with just the producers I work with, or just having like freedom to choose when I drop music, how I do it. Like,
absolutely. So music started as a savior for you. You know, it helped you get through hard times, and then you eventually started taking it more serious to like a professional level, or applying yourself or whatnot. Okay, yeah. And the next question is, who do you look up to then in the music industry? And that can be underground or like mainstream on the radio.
So there are different genres. I look up to different people. So like if it comes to like the multi-genre aspects, people like or the dark trap multi-genre stuff like Suicide Boys or Ghostbane, Scarlord, Kim Dracula, like these guys are Ice Peak. Like they're kind of in this modern I do whatever I want genre. When I do metal stuff, there's bands like Behemoth and DEMONCORE, especially maybe Behemoth and those guys. Maybe some death metal bands like Dying Fetus, who like help me develop like more of the death metal, black metal vocals. Rapping, like that developed way back in high school, stuff from like Busta Rhymes to Tech Nine and
that real rap music, 90s stuff, baby.
Yeah, like the 90s shit. That's like where I learned how to like spit and then like really formulate like bars and all that stuff. And then there's like the industrial agritech goth EBM scene that I also like grew up with. That you could say like Rob Zombie or Marilyn Manson or Rammstein and like those guys. They like influenced me in their own way with singing and stuff like that. There's like a variety. There's also like the Phonk music you see in like Ouija Mac putting out some like Phonk inspired tracks now. Stuff like Cord Hell and some other artists, like they have their own influences. So quite a few influences.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like to ask that question in hopes that maybe a fan will get on here, one of your fans, and they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, my favorite artist also likes my other favorite artist." That's just the goal of that question, to make it relatable for people to connect and stuff. Plus, I'm curious to learn.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have, like, Ghostman himself, like, grew up listening to like Mayhem and Deicide. So these are like black death metal bands, and I grew up listening to those guys. So that's what
Right.
got me into him, because he was writing songs about like Euronymous, and I was like, "Yo, is he talking about like Mayhem? Why is a dark trap artist talking about Mayhem? This is great. I'm gonna listen to it just because he's talking about it." But
Right, right. Yeah, if Ouija says some off the wall artists, I'll probably peep him because it's not his normal or like whatever. I'm like, I wonder who this is. Or, yeah.
mm.
Okay. Any current projects in the works other than the obvious? We know you're going to the gathering, and I can't wait to meet you or at least see you perform. Rather, I get to actually meet you in person or not, because it's crazy there. It's everybody running around. It's a good time, but sometimes you can be 10 foot from somebody and never get to shake their hand. It's just crazy.
Well,
But
I'd love to meet you there. Yeah, that'd be sick. I'm there.
uh,
I'm performing Wednesday, August 13th at 11:50 p.m. at night at the on the detonation stage.
you got
So
the midnight stage, baby. That's gonna be nice.
yeah, and then like my whole persona right now. I'm just home, so I'm gonna do like corpse paint. I have I'm working on a mask and then I like these stage props and all this stuff, like to get ready for like a festival stage. So putting in a lot of work to like make sure that I stand out and make a statement when I get up there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, if you're there, I'd
So
love to meet you.
any other projects though? You working on any songs, any albums, any doing any little quick tours or one-off shows locally or anything like that going on for you?
Yeah, right now, as for shows, playing the gathering, and then I'm driving back to Toronto, and I'm doing like a hometown headlining show on my 40th birthday on August 16th. It'll be a pretty big show for like locally. It's like 500 people capacity. Pretty nice big venue, 40-foot ceilings, nice big screens. Uh, this is gonna be like the first festival I'm playing, so I couldn't think of a better festival to play than the Gathering. So
Yeah, boy.
yeah, like I just feel like it sets the ground for me to just do whatever I want, and then I can kind of go home and celebrate with everyone here. I have a few bands, local bands that are playing with me that I've been just buddies with for a year. So I'm like, yo, let's just I've been doing music.
Absolutely. Let's celebrate my celebration and kill it here at home locally. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, we're gonna
Do,
have.
do you get quite a bit of support from your local community, or are your fans pretty much everywhere else, to your knowledge?
I would say both. I would say both, because like I've been here 13 years doing music like locally. So I do music, I do DJ gigs. Sometimes I vend merch and shit. Like there's a whole bunch of shit I do. So I'm pretty integrated into the local scene, and I've been a part of like the metal scene, goth scene, like this scene, that scene. So I get around, and like I just try to have a good vibe with everyone. Um,
Absolutely.
so yeah, just be nice to get back and celebrate with everyone. And as for songs, since I did get accepted into the uh, gathering, I just figure it's a good time for me to write some Juggalo related bars, because I don't necessarily intentionally do that. But I was like, hey, they accepted me into their community, so let me just give a shout out to the community. So yeah, I'm putting out a song this Friday, I believe, with my buddy Loso from LA, and he's gonna be at the gathering with a couple of my other buddies from Vegas and LA, Kings Ab, Little Titan. So we're all gonna get an Airbnb, hangout, party at the gathering. Like,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'll probably have them come out on stage and join me for like a song or so. And yeah, that song we're putting it out on this Friday, and it's called Fate Zero. It's related to the anime Fate Zero, but also
Okay.
just has like bars about being a juggalo, just yeah, I don't know exactly
Well,
how to
let me tell you something, friend. I'm curious to hear it, and I'm waiting for it for sure. But be optimistic. You might get a little bit of hate. You know what I'm saying? Our community's weird like that. They don't want the whole. I don't know if you've heard the term like culture vulture.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, all I'm saying, you seem cool, and I would hate for, like, maybe a few comments, somebody saying some dumb stuff to, like, rub you the wrong way. So just be optimistic when you put it out and maybe expect a couple,
That
snide
happens.
comments.
That happens all the
Yeah.
time. I'll put out a metal song. Some people will be like, "You're not metal."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, okay, bro. So I don't really care who's like typing whatever on the internet. I work for like a media channel.
Right. You live behind a keyboard, get the hell out of here. Like,
yeah, like I'm gonna put it out. I make content. I'm gonna give my shout outs to the Juggalo community, and then I'm gonna go perform it at the festival. I feel like,
and I think you're gonna get nothing but love.
Yeah, I wanna show love to the community for like inviting me to be a part of them. So I feel like it was the right time to like drop a song and write an intentional actual bars about the and like match the genre horrorcore,
Yeah.
So I feel like it's just what I felt like doing, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go perform it on stage, and I don't care who likes it or hates it. They're gonna have to deal with
it. Yeah, that's the way to be, man. Go out there and give it your all. What's your favorite song so far? You think that you've made that is personal to you for one reason or another?
That's my like theme song called DEMONCORE. It's the like whole genre of music that I call my own genre of music. It's like try to like coin my own like little branding term. I call my genre of music DEMONCORE. So it's what I coined. It was like when I was separating myself from my band, I put in like 8 years of work. I lost like all this work I did, and I was really just like pissed off. And a lot of local scenes was like, what are you doing? Why are you giving up all this? And at that time, I didn't really have a lot of, never played in the States or never played a festival or never really had much worldwide recognition. And at that time, I was just like, you know what? This feels right to me, and I'm going to go for it, and I don't care who likes it or not. And those words just came to me, and I was just like, kind of upset just writing these lyrics, and then eventually work with my producer, and then that turned out to be like the song. Made a music video, like what do you call that? Directed the music video myself.
Right.
Sold my car, just dumped all my money into just like growing all of my solo music career, to start from nothing, contacting all these people worldwide and producers and artists, and like, I just want to do my own thing. I just like, if you feel like working together, let me know. So yeah, that song really set the mood. And like my music brand, the when I sell, I like you could relate to that. Like Ouija Mackie has chapter 17 for his merch brand, so I kind of have that DEMONCORE for my merch brand at the same time. It's like what I call my music genre. It's themed after like demons and demonology, where it stands for like not bowing down to anyone, standing up for yourself. That's what it really like stands for. So that song and that theme just generally sticks to whatever I'm doing.
All right, and if you're trying to get somebody that's new, never heard of you before, hip to your music, is that the same song you're going to recommend, or do you have a different song that you would recommend to somebody that's never heard you and they're trying to like get to know you or give your music a chance, and you're trying to get them hooked?
That's probably the song I'll send. I sent the same song to The Gathering. I was like, hey, if you like this, you'll like me. I sent them the music video, and they're like, cool. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, fair enough. Realistically, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What's the 5-year game plan? Are you going to be signed? Are you going to be on your own label? Are you already on your own label? Are you still just going to be independent, underground, busting out singles? Like, what's the 5-year game plan? If I reached out to you in 5 years and said, "Hey, let's run it back," what are you going to tell me? What's going to happen?
Well, it's gonna come down to like what happens. I have put out like mixtapes, EPs, collab albums, and I'm working on like my solo debut full length album that I won't rush. I'll just take my sweet ass time, and I want everyone I like on that album. I want to collaborate with everybody, all the producers, artists I like from every community that I'm a part of. I really want to just like bring everything together. So that won't take me 5 years to finish. I've already been writing it for 2 years or 3 years. So it's like, it's going to come out maybe a year or 2 years or 3 years from now. And by that time, now that I'm playing festivals, I hope to play more festivals. I'm going to use the gathering, be like, yo, these guys like me. Let me be a part of the community. I put on a good show. Let me play this festival, that festival. So I'll go out, I'll go to other countries and come back to the States and Canada, whatever. Just go wherever I can, play a bunch of festivals, then probably try to do a few small tours that are like more financially feasible. And just continue to work on my music branding, just like keep growing myself. If I do get signed in the meantime, great. But it has to be a good deal. Like I studied.
I was about to say, is there a label that you would be okay with signing to?
It depends on, because I studied music business, so I kind of know how the deals work, and I do my own like publications. Like for now, I just have my own like personal label. Like I know how to like do all the publication stuff. I know how to set up my own tours. I know how to sell my own merch. I know how to release my own music. Like I don't necessarily need someone to like hold my hands and shit. I need their connections. And I need them to like understand that like I don't want to change. There's a lot of like metal labels or industrial or goth labels. They'll be like, you need to be like this. Or rap labels will be like, you need to be like this. So if they want to change how I am, then that's probably not gonna work. If like Juggalos, like if ICP wants to sign me, great. If that I won't like put anyone accountable for signing me. If I really connect with the Juggalo fam, and if I catch someone's attention, if ICP is like, yo, I think it would be a good fit, and I feel like I would be a helpful, profitable artist to their roster, like if there's mutual benefit, I don't want someone to be like, okay, I guess I'll take you on. Like, I don't want anyone to feel like that. I want them to be like excited about working with me, and I want to be excited about working with them.
Right, match the energy level and not compromise your morals or who you are.
Yeah, so it's really got to be the perfect fit, and I'll only know that if like the stars align and things just work out. So I'll just keep working on myself and keep doing the best I can and keep growing myself and have a game plan. Like, yes, I'm going to release my first album. It'd be cool to be signed by the time I release it, probably 2 to 3 years from now. Then probably go on a tour. And then if someone's willing to like help me out with all that, it'd be great. Love to tour with like Ouija Mac or something. If possible, it's really got to be like natural. Like I still haven't met him in person, so hopefully at the gathering I get to meet him. If we hit it off, we work on a song. Like right now, that's what happened to my buddy Sinister. They met. And
shout out Sinister. That dude's dope, bruh. It's cool he's your buddy. Just as a person, like he doesn't think his shit don't stink. Like he's out there with us jugs in the crowd, kicking it, and then he'll run back up on stage and do his set. And then he'll come back out in the crowd and hang out with the jugs. And then he'll go back up on stage and do his next. Like Sinister's dope.
Yeah, he's really sick. And like we made a song with Brian Spencer or Riff Grimes from LA. It's pretty cool. It has like trap metal vibes, Phonk vibes, deathcore vibes, like all in one song. So that's saved for like my album whenever that comes out. So yeah, it's cool to have him on a song. We just chit chat here and there. I think I finally get to meet him at the gathering, so that'll be sick because he's playing the same day. He's playing at 3:45 on Wednesday.
Right.
But yeah, I'm really about like real vibes. Like I just gotta meet people and see where it goes, and
Absolutely.
if it works out in like the timelines that yeah, in 5 years it would be cool if I'm signed, release my album, go on tour with a few artists I really fuck with, and yeah, then I just keep releasing more music, you know.
Sounds realistic. Those are good goals. If not music, then what? What do you think you'd be doing, man? Would you just be working a 9 to 5, or would you still be involved in the music scene or something, some way, somehow? Or
I also DJ, so I aside from music, I also DJ, and I want to get better at that so I could play festivals as a DJ. I've been really liking dubstep, like tear out, bro step, death step, whatever. Really heavy shit, kind of relates to metal. Also lets you rap, sing, scream, whatever you want on those songs. So working on some of those songs myself, just to like experiment. I'm always experimenting with new genres. And yeah, like I DJ, I also voice act. So I'm a voice actor. Not as long as music, obviously. These are like newer branches. I don't want to have to do a 9 to 5 if possible. So I'm just trying to do whatever I can. Like I said, like I have my merch brand, so I go to events. Like if I wasn't playing the gathering, I'd probably come out and just have a merch vendor booth and try to sell shit, just so I could attend and
yeah, absolutely. He said, "I'm an entrepreneur. I got all kinds of things going on."
Yeah, I just like just want to keep going and trying to like branching out and doing as many things as I can so that it could all kind of feed each other. And
absolutely. What about when you was a kid, man? Was it a singer? Did you know you always wanted to be a singer, or maybe you wanted to be an astronaut?
I think I've been doing like vocals since I was a kid.
Oh,
I like played a lot of video games, watched a lot of anime and all that shit for fun, but like I would listen to like everything from MJ to like whatever, and I just like sing. And then even back home music, I would just sing it for fun. And then eventually when I moved here, I just like found rap music, and I was like, okay, then I started rapping for fun. And then in my 20s I found metal music. I started screaming for fun. So I've always just liked singing. That's like I don't really play any instruments. I've just like been a vocalist that pushed me into like doing the voice acting and other things.
yeah.
But yeah, I've always loved singing, and I probably keep singing until vocal cords don't work no more.
Don't work no more. Yeah. No, absolutely. That's cool, man. The next question, I normally word it differently, but you kind of told us, I do believe. It normally goes, have you played the Gathering or been to any, and how many times on both the chords? So we know this is your first time playing the Gathering, which congratulations, man. That is freaking awesome. Detonation stage, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Have you ever been to the Gathering though?
No, I've been meaning to. Like I'm in Canada, so a little hard to get to the States, and I haven't, like when I was doing all this band stuff, it was impossible to like it was so time consuming, just weekly band practice, fucking meeting up, writing music. Took 5 million years to write songs. We were writing 11-minute songs. So fucking exhausting. I was like, as it was going well, but I was like, how do I take this, like, like this year, for example, like I couldn't have made the Gathering with my old band. There's just 6 people driving. There's so much issues you run into, way too expensive.
Right.
We never made it out of the country. But as soon as I went solo, it took me like not even 2 years to like make contacts in Vegas and LA and go play shows in Texas and LA and just go out and like New Mexico and then get back to LA, like then just make these connections like just by myself, like backpacking my way through, just meeting artists. So first time at the gathering this year, and again possible because I'm doing it by myself. It feels better than doing it with a band because like I'm not really by myself. Like I have buddies there from the US and like Zab's one of the main like content guy from the gathering. He shoots, like he's one of the official media people for the gathering. So I'm hanging out with him. He's probably gonna be really busy running around, but it'd be nice to like just go see people, hang out, meet a bunch of new people, just check out like wrestling sideshows, vendors, meet a bunch of crazy Juggalo
JC Dub.
Yeah, I want to go have fun and enjoy.
Absolutely, man. If you could collaborate with any artist, mainstream or underground, that you have not collaborated with so far yet, who would it be? Maybe give us somebody that you think is untouchable for you, and then somebody that is possible with a few stacks, and then maybe somebody that it might be possible you just haven't tried to reach out yet or something.
I would say maybe like Ghostmane. That would be out of reach right now because I probably wouldn't even reach him if I tried. I would have to get like a lot more notoriety. He also doesn't he barely works with anyone. So, but I'd love to make a song with him. He helped get me going on my whole solo journey. So,
right,
really cool. Ghostmane, Kim Dracula, Scarlord. These guys would be really cool. They're all at a caliber I probably can't reach right now. Probably Tech 9 or something is in that. First of all, I'd be very scared to get on a song with him because he'd just eat me alive, bars wise. Delivery, I'd be like, holy
that dude murders bars.
Yeah. So those guys would be really cool. In terms of like people who I could possibly make a song with, that would be maybe like Ouija Mac. I've listened to him for a long time, like even since he was like, because he entered the scene very young and he's still pretty young.
Yep.
So, listening to him way back when he was just starting
Swag
to
Tooth days.
Yeah, and like he's been buddies with DJ Paul and I think like of 3-6 Mafia, so they've been a part of the related to the Juggalo fam, and they were like a part of the OG like rap scene. When I used to listen to like the old school scene of like I don't know, just early 2000s. They were like, they released Gotta Stay Fly and all that shit. So that was like a big part of high school jam, and then DJ Paul just kept going and collaborating with other people.
Right.
So I seen them collaborate way back, and then they still collaborate. I think he was on his last album. As a DJ, like I look up to DJ Paul quite a bit because he's really sick with how he makes beats and just like how he just remixes his own song live while doing reels or whatnot. It'd be cool if I had a DJ Paul produce a song for me. And then Ouija Mac would be really cool to go back to back on a song with. I feel like I could hold my own.
You might impress him. I'm sure, like being an artist, I don't know. I don't know how that works. I don't know if like the bigger artists go like meet all the smaller artists or whatever, but I know like he took Sagon Umo under his wing. He took Percy Bones under his wing. I mean, obviously,
Percy is from UK and
right.
We could chat sometime, and he played there last year, I think.
Yep. Good peoples. Okay, yeah. Next question I have for you is, have you met anyone famous to you? So, for example, I've been to the Gathering, I've been to concerts, I've done VIP tours, I've got to meet ICP, I've got to meet Ouija. When you go to the Gathering, artists just walk around. Well, not all of them, but some of them just walk around the crowd socializing. I've got to meet people like Scum and Insane Poetry and Darby just out in the wild, if you will. And so that's really cool. But I also like to use as my answer for this question. I have met Polly Shore. So I'm not sure if you're aware. Obviously, I feel like everybody knows who Polly Shore is, but maybe not. Comedian, actor, whatever. He done a stand-up comedy tour in the city that I was living in, and I got to meet him that way. So, have you met anyone famous to you?
I don't necessarily. I usually can't afford to do VIPs because I'm a musician. Maybe like in the metal scene, that's like who I generally been around a lot, and I got to meet like people from Cradle of Filth and Flesh God Apocalypse. Like those guys, I wouldn't say super ultra mega famous. Maybe Cradle of Filth's more famous. But in the metal scene, yeah, Nergal from Behemoth. Like I've just been in that scene for like a long time playing shows, so they come around to Toronto, and maybe I meet them. I haven't gotten to meet like really big rappers or industrial artists. Recently I got to meet like Witches. He's this like weird silhouette dude, does like goth music. He's from Vegas. Got to meet him. He was really cool. I just like. Yeah, like I usually can't really afford to do VIPs. So if I go see them at shows and they happen to be by their tour bus or at the back, like I'll just say hi, and if they feel like talking, if they're not too tired after the show, and we might chit chat. That's how I got to meet whoever I got to meet so far.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's cool as shit. Okay. What's your favorite color, man?
Red.
Mine too. That's awesome. What's your favorite domesticated and wild type animal?
So I love snakes. Snakes are my favorite. I have a snake with my fiance here. We have like a 5-foot boa.
Oh.
So that's my favorite animal. I would have all the snakes if I could. They might be a little crazy. Might need a house right now. We have a 1-bedroom, so can only have one. I do like tarantulas too, so I want to have.
Ooh.
Want to get a big. I think they're called Brazilian black tarantulas. There was one. I think it's called green beetle blue. Looks really cool. It's like yellow, green, blue colors, but it's kind of a wild one.
Oh yeah.
It like webs like the whole, like wherever you put it, it webs like crazy, and it's a little feisty, so it might bite you, or So maybe not that one, but if I
was
could
about to
have
say
it,
that. Right, that could be your wild animal.
yeah.
So the snakes is cool. I had a python. He just passed away, sadly, but I still own an albino corn snake. And then I got a bunch of fish, and we pretty much have a mini zoo in my house. I love all kinds of animals. My favorite domesticated animal is probably a dog, though. Pit bulls specifically. And then my wild type animal would probably be a white tiger, because they're not supposed to exist, and they'll lure you in, and then they'll kill you. They're like very beautiful and stuff.
That's
So
scary. Yeah.
yeah, and you know what I'm saying, right? And they ain't playing around. All tigers, for that matter, like they look majestic, and you want to go to them, but they're gonna eat your face.
Oh yeah.
So okay. We made it to the bottom of the first page, and then we'll jump to the next page. But this is when I tell anybody that's in the chat, if you have any questions, which I have it going across the bottom of the screen, but if you have any questions, put them in the chat. Ask this man some questions. Let him know you're here. Ask him something random, something new, something weird. It doesn't matter. Meanwhile, I'm going to ask you, being in the underground scene, how do you try to separate yourself from other artists?
Yeah, I do that all the time. So that's why I have my own genre and my own like theme colors, character, like my own face paint. That's like I brand it, making a mask out of it that has the face paint on it. So I try to stand out as much as possible. It's really hard to get noticed when you don't stand out. So
Right.
and if you by management and other people like that I talked to before, they say like, yeah, maybe just do like one genre, because then it'll be easier for you to like get signed or have someone manage you or get on a tour with booking agent. But I'm like, but there are artists who don't do that, so why would I do it? Like there's like Ghostman and whatever else, like, or Kim Drag, like he doesn't follow whatever he just does whatever he wants. So if it's gonna work, it's gonna work, and if it's not gonna work, it's not gonna work. Like I can't control how popular I get, and if I'm not authentic and real, if I'm just trying to like just pigeonhole myself into a scene just to try to fit in, it's not gonna really work anyways. So yeah, I'll just keep doing me, and it'll
and you know, I think artists like you are very important for that reason. Because let me tell you, I like Ouija Mac, right? Like I'm a nut writer for Chapter 17. I'll just tell you that I'm by far, firstly and always foremost, a juggalo, and the clowns are God. But I'm a nut writer for Ouija, and so for instance, I don't necessarily like opera music. You know what I'm saying? That's just my particular choice or whatever. But if Ouija fucked around and done some opera music, I would probably listen to it. And it's because it's him. So that's what I mean. You artists that do what you want, not to stay to a niche genre, but to you, stay truthful to you, I think brings a variety of music listeners together. And they're like, oh, wait, we can agree to disagree because we both like this song or whatever. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's really important, because like artists doing this and that and just like kind of like messing with their fan base brings in new fan bases, but also makes it okay for more people to like just be more open-minded, right? Like if an artist, like you've just started, like a lot of OG bands just do that. It's just like, okay, this is what we got popular for, and 30 years later we're just gonna keep doing those.
Right.
We're gonna retire and milk this one formula forever. I get bored. I'm like, okay, I'm glad it's working for you, and
right.
But like maybe some people just really like one thing, and that's okay. But I've grown up with so many different fucking genres and scenes that I'm just gonna keep growing and keep doing new things as they become interesting to me. And I couldn't, stop doing that if I tried.
Right on. If you had to listen to one artist for the rest of your life, who would it be? Like, that's all you get to listen to. You turn on the radio, that's what's playing. You go to Spotify, that's what's playing, yada, yada, yada. If you only could listen to one artist, who would it be? If you think you can answer that.
Probably like Ghostman. So just
okay.
He does enough. I feel like I won't get bored. He will keep doing different things, so it might not be as often because he doesn't drop music as often as he used to.
Right.
Someone like Scarlord, who drops like 5 albums in a year, there will be a lot more to listen to, and if I just have to listen to him, but I feel like someone who experiments enough. Probably like,
you'll at least have a variety.
Yeah, if I want to just listen to like singing, he has enough of those songs, and he's gonna have more. If I want to listen to screaming, he's gonna have more. If I want to listen to rapping, he's gonna have more.
Right. And speaking of that question, so then my next question is, what type of music did your parents listen to, and do they approve or agree with the type of music that you chose to listen to? And if you're in contact with them still, do they agree with the type of music you make?
Not at all. They're from Bangladesh, and they grew up listening to like back home folk music and shit. And I think they just watch Bollywood films and just listen to like South Asian music. And I didn't really like. I grew up with it, but I was never really into it. So I don't really care for it. I have nothing against it. It just doesn't really. There's
Is there
nothing.
any? Is there any like artist that's like from that's Asian that you do like dig? Because I listen, I like different music. I like Viking music and reggae and Indian music and not like all of it. Ain't like I listen to all of it, you know what I'm saying? But I like different. So
Yeah,
I'm always curious to learn a new somebody or something or whatever.
I'd say like I listen to like Norse mythology, like Amon Amarth, and like Viking music, and there's like, of course, like reggae music. I grew up with like Bob Marley and Damien Marley.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like in terms of South Asian music, like if it's just South Asian music, like with no other twists and turns and like cross influence to other cultures. I've been force fed that so much that I kind of get irritated when I listen to it. I'm just like, oh my god, here goes another movie that's 3 hours long, and then an hour and a half of it is just these annoying love songs, and it's also happy sounding that it irritates me. I'm like, man, why are you always like singing about like love and like where's like the dark subjects? There are some death metal bands back home that I did some research on. I do some like album media reviews. So I listened to some like I checked out some of those metal bands, but I wouldn't say it's like in the culture. They're just more like connecting to the Western culture. And like I grew up
Okay.
here, so if the back home music doesn't have like some Western influence, it's hard for me to listen to and really get excited about it. There's this one band from India. They're doing really good right now. They're called Bloody Wood. They're pretty good. I enjoy them because they like collaborate with like baby metal. They collaborate with some other artists, and they have like rapping. They sing in Hindi. They rap. They sometimes scream. They have metal tunes. They like mix like a bunch of influences, and that to me is refreshing. So
Yeah. Yeah.
if
Absolutely.
if like more artists did that, then I'd probably listen to more. And yeah, it just really depends on like because I don't like someone who just does one thing. Like it's hard for me to stick to like listening to like if they don't do anything innovative or new. So it's nice like when they like cross pollinate their fans and whatnot. But yeah, like maybe those guys are cool.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And then I reckon, do you speak your native language? Do you know any of it? Or do you try to interpret that into any of your music? Have you tried to do a song like mixing the vibe or?
I can't speak the language. I don't really have many like friends from that culture scene, so I don't necessarily ever really speak it. My parents speak to me maybe whenever they do speak to me in their language, and I'll just reply in English because I'm just so used to doing that. If I
Right.
can speak it, it's just a little hard for me.
Yeah.
And back in high school, like before I got better at English, like when I first moved here, first couple of years, I wasn't like the best at English. So I did rap in my language in Bengali. I had fun, and now it'd be hard to do because like I don't remember all those slangs and whatnot.
Did
But
you put those songs out?
um, excuse me. I used to put up like mixtapes, so somewhere in the void, some mixtapes of me rapping in Bengali exist. So I don't know where they are. It was like between age of 16, dude. 18.
No, that's really cool to me. I'm Polish, and I couldn't begin to speak a lick of it. Or both sides of my family are Polish or whatever. I'm just a mutt mixed with American and Indian, and so on and so forth. But I would love to be able to speak it, and it's just very hard. So when I meet somebody that is, multi Language or whatever, or possibly has the ability, and they're an artist, I love to ask if they've tried to do a song. Like, I don't know if you know who Scum is,
Mm.
with LSP, but I think he's German, I believe, and he actually has some songs where he actually speaks German, or at least has the accent and stuff in there, and I love it. That's different to me, so I just didn't know, maybe that was an element that you could touch or bring into your music, or maybe not, or whatever. But no, I just
Yeah,
find it really interesting.
it'd be fun to like do it. I don't necessarily feel obligated to do it,
Right.
so I haven't done it. But if I feel like, I don't know, let's say I end up working with a Bengali producer or something that happens back home that I feel like making a song about, some like current event or whatever. Like if there's like I don't want to just do it for the sake of, I am Bengali. I'm not really patriotic.
Yeah, no.
So if it makes sense and I feel like doing it, I might just like randomly, or if it could just be like, I just feel like doing a verse in Bengali for shits and giggles. Like it might just happen. Like it's nice to have stuff in your back pocket. You could just,
Yeah.
and it just has to feel like this is the time, and yeah, sure, why not?
Okay. Do you have any siblings?
I have like one sister. She's like
What?
13 years younger than me.
Okay. Does she? Do you know? Like, does she support your music at all, or is it not her scene, or not a whole? And I should have said this in the backstage. You ain't got to answer nothing you don't want to answer. You can say skip, next, pass, move along. So please don't think you're obligated to answer anything. I say that, as I'm just asking questions. I should have said that before. So,
No,
but
it's all good. That's probably the only person in my entire family, because they're all Muslim and very South Asian culture. Just only really talk to their family members. So I'm very much like, I'm gonna separate myself from you guys because y'all don't support what I do. Especially I'm named after a demon. Obviously not religious.
right, right.
Doesn't sit right with them. I'll have like performers, dancers, like my stripper friends sometimes come dance with me. I'll just have like whatever, like it's like I like to put on a show. So
Right.
yeah, they're just like,
Okay.
oh man, I can't.
No. Yeah, right.
They
I get it.
I'm
My
kind of like
mom's a Christian, so I absolutely get it. I know she to this day don't accept ICP or tells me I'm gonna go to hell
oh
and
yeah, the
yada
same thing.
yada.
Yeah, they're like, oh. So yeah, they don't really get me. I don't get them. We don't really get along. It's all good, but my little sister is probably the only person who actually comes out to my shows and buys merch and supports me. I'm putting out a song for her birthday at the end of September, and I told her, you need to do the artwork for the song just to push her in her. I guess she does art, but she never really does anything serious with it. I'm like, okay, look, you could be like a cover of one of my songs. I'm gonna make this song for your birthday, so
right.
get your shit together and finish it. Like I try to push her too, because it's really
Dude,
hard
that's
for her.
cool.
It's really hard for her being the community culture. Parents just like harping down on her. Oh, your brother's like the black sheep. Don't turn out like him. So it's hard for me to like free her away from that. A lot of harder for a girl to like break away in the South Asian culture and just do whatever she wants, unless she wants to be like abandoned from everyone.
Right.
It's hard for people to like let go of family and whatnot. I've just done it for so long, like, and we just don't get along, so it's like whatever. But yeah, she's cool. We get along. We go to like anime conventions and cosplay together and hang out.
Yeah. That's freaking dope, man. And it's cool that you're trying to motivate your sister to do art. My old lady does digital art and furry art and all kinds of stuff like that or whatever. She would dig the conventions. We haven't got to go to one yet, but I would go with her. And she doesn't consider herself a furry, but she draws for them. And she does like the cosplay and the dress up type bit from it and whatnot. So, and she does watch anime too. I don't necessarily understand anime completely, but there is two that I can actually stand watching. There's like Howl's Moving Castle or
Oh yeah,
something like that.
love that one.
And then there's another one. I can't think of the name right now. I'm not a hater. I just it's not necessarily my, cup of tea per se anime, speaking of, but no, that's awesome that you're trying to give her an outlet or she has the outlet. You're just trying to remind her like I understand it's hard for you. You have a talent and that could be your outlet. That could be your exit. That could be your escape. That could
Yeah,
be how you move forward. And even if she chooses to just apply herself more artistically and then give back to the community. If she wants to support Muslim or, whatever your belief is, just, but it's pushing her to not let it go to waste. And that's an amazing thing. I applaud you for that. That's really cool.
that's hard. Like I want her to like be more aggressive, and I had to do that. I had to like fucking fight them and yell at back and like all that shit to be like, stop shoving this bullshit down my face. It doesn't like sit right with me. I feel like doing this. I'm not harming anyone. I'm just being me.
Right.
So
Right.
I think it just like really comes down to the person. They have to do it themselves. You can't necessarily do it for them because the power's got to come from inside. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
If you met the younger version of yourself, say 12 years old, give or take, what would you tell yourself, if anything at all? And I know you've just literally told us you had a little bit of a rough upbringing and a breaking out of, at least, of, family, whatever, and whatnot. And a lot of people say, if you say anything or if you've done something, then you wouldn't be where you are today, which I kind of believe, but at the same time, do we really know that? Like, and then maybe you would just give yourself some kind of guidance, like you're gonna get through that, or you'll be okay, or you know what I'm saying. But the question is yours. If you met the younger version of yourself, about 12, 13 years old, that's about when you start puberty or
Mhm.
whatever, and a lot of stuff's going on. What would you tell yourself, if anything at all?
I would just say maybe don't do a lot of drugs and don't get messed up and don't spend all your time on girls. And yeah, stay focused on your shit because I was doing pretty good in high school, like 16 to 20, just rapping, getting pretty good at rapping. And then 20 to 28, I didn't really do shit. I was like trying to go to college, nothing against college, but I learned way more being on the streets and like teaching myself from just internet and YouTube than what I learned in college and even working in the corporate like scene for like 6-7 years. I didn't really
Absolutely.
have self-development or growth like I did when I actually just separated myself and worked on myself. So a lot of times I wasted, even being in the music scene, uh, sometimes getting frontman syndrome and being like, I'm cool, girls like me, and yay. Like shit like that, I'd probably just go back and be like, okay, this is not really like, I know it's fun, but it's not going to get you places. So if you want to get places, don't waste your time and rot your brain and guts doing all these drugs. And
Listen, if you are a teenager right now watching this, we kind of joke about it, but this is the stuff I wish people really said to me when I was 12 or 13. My favorite artists, I wish they would have came out and said something similar of the sorts or whatever. Like, it's okay to be a kid and live or whatever, but don't just piss off your life on drugs and chasing women. There's time for that down the road. When you're more mature, you can make a better conscious thought focus on you.
yeah, I feel like I would have been where I am now, like 10, 15 years ago, if I just stayed on track. So,
Right.
getting derailed like so many times. Now I don't wish I changed anything, because like everything that I went through has like made me what who I am
Right.
now. So all good. I don't have any regrets. I would just say it where I've reached now could have just happened sooner.
Absolutely.
Which would make me reach further now. If I just stayed the course and didn't get sidetracked or derailed by like distractions.
Right, that 5-year game plan would be a whole different ball game, maybe.
Yeah, right. It was like it's now my 5-year game plan. When I'm reaching like
Right.
42 or something, I released my full length album. That could have happened when I reach 32 or
Yeah,
whatever, like 10 years earlier. But yeah,
absolutely.
no worries. It's all good.
Okay, and you mentioned this earlier, or I think you gave an answer for this earlier, but I'm still going to bring it up. Do you think the skill came naturally, or did you have to learn and practice at it? They say some people are born with a given talent, and other people have to like practice a lot and learn, and then they become equally competitive
Mhm.
in whatever that thing may or may not be. Do you think you were more natural, or you had to learn and practice?
I think I just had to learn and practice. I never had any proper music education. My parents wouldn't let me go
Right.
learn about music or drama or acting or anything like that. So I just like listen to music, try out stuff, and try to match registers and sing or rap or scream. Like, working in factories, just like being depressed and being angry and trying to like just let out anger. I'm like, oh, these metal songs seem like they're doing that. So let me just try to maybe copy it and see if that feels good. And yeah, just like trial and error, trying it out, and then just getting good over time. So
Yeah.
yeah, just like I think even if you have natural talent, you're still not gonna really get good unless you practice. And it doesn't matter how much talent you have. Like all these.
Absolutely. You got to keep honing in on your craft, bettering yourself, learning different things, to keep creative and, spontaneous. Or I would think otherwise you're just going to get boring and keep falling back to what you already know,
Yeah.
and there's no like improvement. So and that might work for some people, maybe not. Okay, man. We're getting right there near the end. I appreciate your time. We've been live for an hour and 7 minutes. I really feel like I'm getting to know a stranger, and that's the whole point of these artist interviews. One of the reasons why I started doing these is because I gatekeeped my own music for 20 years. If ICP did not put somebody in front of me or they weren't on the radio, I probably wasn't listening to you. And that sucks. I missed out on a lot of great artists. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to them. So this is part of my way of just giving back to the community and myself. And plus, I'm actually an introvert, believe it or not, but I like to get to know interesting people. To be in a crowd, I really don't care. But if it's my people, my type of weirdos, I can be there all day and be myself. And that's one thing you're gonna see and learn about the Gathering, man. Like it's the one place you can be you with absolutely no judgment, no care, no nothing. It's unadulterated freedom to be whatever, whoever you want to be, because everybody else is being whoever, whatever they want to be, and that's okay. So yeah, it's a
that
great time.
that sounds perfect. That's like what I promote in general with like not just my music but my message. Just even when I talk to people, anyone, and just like just be you. Don't try to fit in. You'll just find your place. So yeah, I'm super excited to like go experience the whole thing. I want to just like meet random ass people, go party, go try out shit I haven't done before. I don't know. just go wild, and then like it really.
Are you gonna do the zip line, homie? You know they got a zip line this year. That's the first time. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay, I gotta.
That's gonna be interesting. I don't know. It depends who went before me. I know homie's gonna get up there high as fuck, drunk as fuck, man. Man, it's gonna be crazy. Okay, who or what inspired / came up with your stage name? And you kind of mentioned earlier, but for maybe somebody that didn't catch it. And then, do you have a logo that is identifiably you, no matter if it's on a flag, if it's on a shirt, if it's on a hat? So, do you have your own logo? How did you come up with that, or did you outsource it? And then just maybe retouch on your stage name, how you came up with that.
The stage name Astaroth came from, like, I grew up, before doing music seriously, I grew up as like a pro gamer. So I used to play a game called Soul Calibur, and I played Astaroth exclusively from 2002 to 2012 before switching over to music seriously. And I was like, yo, I had this name. My gamer tag used to be the Mastroth. And then I was like, I had this name for a long time. Let me keep it if I can. And then I just like, for music, I just like named my first like black death metal band Astaroth. And then my name's like, you know, it became Sam Astaroth because, you know, the band name. And then at that time, I was also like listening to all these metal bands, denouncing religion, and like reading into like demonology and all these other like religions, and I found Astaroth like as one of the demonic entities, and I was like, okay. And then he stands for like truth, knowledge, justice, and I had a lot of unjust shit happen in my life, so I kind of like related to him in a personal sense, and I was like, you know, trying to speak my truth. So a lot of like the characteristics of the demon I related to personally, and I wanted to seek out like knowledge and other things. So yeah, like that just became like I started really getting into it like seriously. I was like, okay, I'm very interested in this. And it was like kind of like an alter ego that helped me break away from like the religion culture and just like really find my own footing. He's also very neutral. He doesn't necessarily corrupt or anyone, just kind of like provides information if you need, and then karma just does its thing if you do wrong with the information you receive. So I like that neutral status. So I don't like picking sides. I just like doing my own thing. Yeah, just like kind of connected to this character. It helped me like become more independent, and just like the character name stuck with me, and it became like my alter ego. And yeah, it just been like my thing in terms of logo. That's my main logo. It says Astaroth. This one is done by Christoph from, I think he's part Polish, I think. He's done a lot of these black metal band logos. That's the scene that I come from. So yeah, I just had this like, generally like at first I kind of like drew the logo, like the basic version of it back in 2013. And then over time I was like, okay, I'm not like that good at, you know, logo design. So let me get someone who's a professional who could like spice it up and make it like crazy. So
right.
Yeah, I had a few different iterations of this. Yeah, you know what's up from DJ Florida, Astro with the axe. Yeah, that was the main character. Yeah, like that's the logo. That's my main logo. I also have a side logo. That's this thing.
That's actually pretty dope looking.
That's a sword logo that I have that you will see at the gathering when I play. I'm gonna have it attached to my mic stand. Hopefully, I can bring it through the border. They don't think it's a weapon or whatever because it's that big. It's like 4.5. It comes apart in pieces, and then I just it's like a stage prop. It'll look like I have a
and that's what I'd tell him too. Like, look, I'm an artist. It's a prop, bro. That's it.
Yeah, it's just made of like acrylic, like plastic. It's nothing crazy, But yeah, it's gonna be like so that's like one version of my logo, and then this is the other logo, and my face paint is kind of based on this logo. Like, it obviously doesn't have all the details of it, but the main details of the logo is kind of like what formed my face paint.
Okay. Hell yeah. That's what's up. So my old lady just came in for a minute. I don't know if she's still in here. She normally has me ask the question, if you could be an animal or a fictional character, what would you be?
Animal or a fictional character?
Mm-hmm.
Fictional character.
Well, I'll tell you why. She drew Ouija as a chibi taking a bath in blood, and he shared it all over his socials. She drew Clockwork E, a dragon penis, or a penis dragon, I should say. And when she gets bored and she ain't got commissions built up, I said she does digital art and stuff. She'll sometimes come reflect on my artist interviews, and she'll pull this question, and maybe she might draw, you as that said animal or fictional character in her own, way and whatnot.
Yeah, well, Astaroth's supposed to be writing a dragon in fiction or demonology or wiki, whatever. So yeah, maybe because I have a whole demon persona that I put on when I play shows. So like it has a whole crazy outfit with all this shit going on. That character plus a dragon maybe has wings and crazy arms and feet. Breathes fire and shit.
Yeah. She said fictional like a unicorn, etc. Laugh out loud. Yeah, absolutely. So we have made it to what I like to call the game questions, man. And this is where it'll start getting quicker. We're at about an hour and 15 minutes. These usually take just about 10 minutes. And it's a matter of either or. So you're just going to choose one or the other. Or you can substitute an answer in place if you don't like my two choices or whatever. And it's just a little funsy or whatever. And then I have a solid question I ask. 3 fill in the blanks. We do an outro and get you out of here. Again, I want to thank you for giving me an hour, probably going to be about an hour and a half of your time. I know you can never get that back, so you may say, oh, it's nothing, but it means something to me. So thank you very much.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
So without further ado, we're just going to jump right in. And the first either or is going to be candy, Twix, or Reese's.
Twix.
All right. Summer or winter?
This is funny. I used to love winter, hate summer, but now I'm starting to like summer and hate winter. So summer.
Do you guys have a lot of snow up there in Canada?
Oh yeah.
I mean, naturally, or it stays cold, or
like 6 months a year it's snowing, and I used to like it when I was in the whole black metal scene because they're all up in mountains getting frozen to death all the time, and then now I'm like playing shows and festivals and DJ gigs and want to go to raves and shit and party, and I'm like, okay, that shit does not happen in the winter, so.
Right. Snow rave, having snowball fights. Yeah. No, I don't know. Okay, day or night?
I personally prefer nighttime. Not for going out, obviously it doesn't work, but when I'm working, I perform best at nighttime, just like, like a human, like a dragon. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Truck, and I agree. Let me backstep. I hate mornings. And hate's a strong word, but if I don't have to be up for something, you're not catching me up before 11 o'clock. That's how much I dislike morning. But I also find myself a night owl. Like, I'll stay up until 3 a.m., which is morning, but it's dark. That's still nighttime for me, or
Yeah,
whatever, you know.
I work way better at night when like everyone's sleeping. I'm like, this is great. No one's bothering me. I can just work away on shit and yeah.
Right, right. Truck or car?
Car.
Okay. You're taking your sweetheart out on a date. Are you going for a movie night or are you going roller skating?
Probably a movie night.
Movie night. Pizza or pasta?
Pasta.
Okay. The next two is kind of like for your fans. Which are you most active on? Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram. A lot, way more.
Okay. And then TikTok or formal Twitter X?
TikTok all the way.
Okay. Pepsi products or Coke products?
Coke products.
And if as a juggalo, I gotta ask you, if it has to be a Faygo, do you have a Faygo you like? Do they have Faygo in Canada?
No, they don't. I wish they did, but
Have you got to try any at all?
I did. Had a few buddies bring back some Fagos from like the gathering, and yeah, I got to try some. I don't know what flavors I tried. They had like they just brought a whole bunch, like 10 different flavors, and I was just like, oh, this one's good, this one's good, this one's good.
Right, and that's just a little percentage, bro. There's so many different Fagos. It's ridiculous. I tell you, the best one probably to get sprayed with, which you're gonna experience, I'm sure, is probably Moon Mist. It doesn't burn as much.
Okay. I'm down.
Yeah, yeah. Pie or cake?
That's hard. Cake.
Right. For me, cake, it just depends like what type of cake. I really don't like a real dry cake. Or like you'll have a cake where like the icing is so rich, but the cake itself is so bland, and it's like
those are shit. Like you just gotta have a real meaty cake, you know? Like I want the cake. I don't give a shit about the icing.
Right, absolutely. Okay, you don't have a choice. You have to either make a 3-mile walk in the rain, or you got to make a 5-mile walk in the desert, provided water and a couple shade spots so you don't dehydrate.
Probably just walk in the rain.
Okay. I've only had a couple artists say the desert, and that's because like they live in Arizona or something here in the States. So like Acetone Boogie, he said he would do the desert. And I don't remember who the other artist was, but they too lived in like Texas or somewhere very hot and whatever.
Yeah, I probably won't survive 5 hours. So
okay, Mexican food or Chinese?
Mexican food's better. Chinese food's also good. Probably Mexican food.
Okay. And since you chose Mexican, tacos or burritos?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like when it comes to Mexican food, I like just like the veggies and meat when it's kind of prepared like a little differently, not the traditional Mexican food.
Okay.
Same with like Chinese food. Like I'll generally want to eat like high protein meals. Mostly those cultures don't eat like that. So altered Mexican food that's focused on more high protein.
Okay, yeah. All right. So now I have just a random question for you. You're given $5,000 cash money, but you have to pick one store and spend it all immediately. This can be elevated to an online store, and it can be a common chain store that you would see like nationwide, like Walmart, or it could be something local to you. But one store have to spend all $5,000 there in one setting. Where are you going? Maybe what are you getting?
Probably Blackcraft Cult. Just they'll have so much of my stage clothes and they have coffee.
Okay.
Their shit's expensive, so it won't be hard like spending $5,000.
Right, absolutely. All right, so I just have 3 fill in the blanks for you, buddy, and that's pretty much a wrap. The first fill in the blank question goes as follows. My favorite vacation was blank.
My favorite vacation was going to LA with my fiance, just enjoying our time. So, yeah, I usually don't really go on vacation, so we just went and enjoyed like the scenery for once, and that was great.
Heck yeah. The bicycle I had most as a kid was blank.
Like as a bike?
Yeah, just a regular bicycle, 20-inch mountain bike. The brand like specifically, or
I don't remember what type. It was like probably like a mountain bike, like with a lot of shock resistance, and like so I could just like kind of, because back home roads are so shit, so you need like something that can handle all the vibration.
Right, good terrain, and no, absolutely. I'm embarrassed to say, but the bike I probably had most was stolen. However, the bike I remember most, my first bike that my mom got me was probably a Huffy Rocket, 20-inch red bike from Walmart. And then the bike I probably had most was like a Mongoose or a Next. And I would try to have pegs on it and the mag wheels or whatever.
Sick.
Sadly, I have this whole concept, and I'm sure that's why my life went crazy. I believe in karma too, and I used to not be a good person. In fact, I used to be a really bad person. You know, I had a shitty life, a shitty upbringing, so then I just rebelled and blamed all my problems on everybody else when really I should have been accountable for some of my own actions and yada yada. But I had this like concept, if I was trying to get across town and you were dumb enough to leave your bike by the sidewalk and I didn't want to walk no more, I was probably grabbing your bike and getting to where I was going. And then I would dip. I'd either leave it in somebody else's yard because the cops would just return it or whatever, or it might end up in the local pond. And like they would drain our local pond every 3 to 5 years, and they would find a ton of bikes. Not just for me, like other people were doing it, but you know what I'm saying? So that's why I asked that question. It just a weird nostalgia to keep me honest. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to be not the best person, and shame on me for that. You know what I'm saying? So
it's all good. Yeah. We all go through changes and grow up, and you know,
absolutely.
What matters is how you keep evolving.
Yeah. Look at that. Now Midnight Yammy in this bitch at the last minute. I don't know if you're familiar with this guy, but he's a up and coming Juggalo artist too in our community, and he went through the whole getting some hate and whatnot, and I don't know, proving himself, if you will, as an actual Juggalo and not just some outsider trying to vulture us. Me and him's about to line up an interview too. I appreciate you stopping in, Yami.
I gotta check him out.
Yeah. All right, man. The last fill in the blank question I have for you is the best part about the beach, freshwater or saltwater, is blank.
Probably the little crabs that walk around.
Yeah! Man, cool points for being original and giving me a total different answer that I don't think I've never heard or I don't even come up with. The little crab dude just looking all tough. Yeah. They don't even care about people. They're just like, get out of here.
Yeah, I would just like play around with them if I find one. So.
That is awesome, man. You know, I expect a lot of people to come up here and state the obvious. You know what I'm saying? Women in bikinis. You know what I'm saying? Oh, which is, it's nice. The sights are nice, but for me, that ain't what it is either. You know what I'm saying? I'm more of a hippie, I guess, but it's the being there, itself. Walking up to the edge of the water with your toes in the water, half on the sand, and realizing that there's something bigger than you. You will never be bigger than Mother Nature. You'll never beat her. And for me, it's kind of humbling, you know. So it's a reconnect to the earth or whatever. And yeah, Evil Cook, whoop whoop. Look at you, y'all coming in here. What's up? I appreciate you coming through, buddy. Evil Cook is another artist.
Yeah, there's like when I got announced, I saw so many artists. I was like, yo, there's so many artists I gotta check out. So I got this whole list of artists I'm like going through, checking out, and like just connecting. And it was really cool. I get to like just connect to a whole new set of artists. Like I see like the bigger artists on Instagram and like YouTube and all that shit. So I'm like, I know them, but it's nice to see all these like other artists who are around my level or a bit higher that maybe Instagram doesn't show me or people necessarily don't talk about that much. So it's nice for me to find out and just see like what they're doing and connect to them, check out their music. And it's nice just, experiencing more of the scene that's not at the super high popularity level, but it doesn't mean
Right.
like it's like, any genre, like where you go check out a lot of the local underground scenes and you find a lot of gems there.
Absolutely. I lied. I do have one more random question for you that just popped into my head. I just remembered because I commented on one of your posts and I was thrown off and surprised. Not you, but your significant other is into the oddities and curiosities.
Yeah, we actually both just did the oddities and curiosities in Toronto, the expo, and we both were vending there. We have like a joint booth, so
Yeah.
she got me into vending, and like she's vegan, she's into like all these earth, nature, like positive stuff, and I don't know how that connected her to oddities, but it did, and she started doing all these like expos, and then she found oddities, and then we just like
Dude, it's a beautiful hobby. We've only recently just dove into it ourselves. Like, I've always kind of found it interesting, but never really collected. And now we're sitting here with a display tank with like 5, 6 different skulls in it and rib cages and got furs. And we went to our first oddities and curiosities convention in Cincinnati. I about said Columbus, Cincinnati, Ohio. And that was really cool. And we're hoping to start attending more events. So when I seen your post and I seen the stuff, I literally showed my old lady. I'm like, no way, look at this, like, and that's cool as heck, man. That was just one extra thing that I found really cool about you. So
thanks, bro.
it slipped my mind this whole time, and I'm glad it came up because I did want to just kind of mention it or ask about it a little bit and whatnot.
Yeah,
So.
that was the thing too. Like I was like, I sell these like demon sigil shit, and like, who's gonna like me? Let me do this, and not like look at me weird, And then I was like, okay, you have so much weird shit happening, you won't mind. So then, like she, like
Absolutely.
my fiance, she did it last year, and I was like, okay, let me have my own shit, get my own shit together with my merch brand and shit, and then like join you. And then we're doing, given we don't have any issues getting into the States with the border, we're gonna do Detroit in July, the oddities and curiosities, and then we have Vegas in September. And then, given that we can do both of those US events and it all goes well, I probably want to do a whole bunch more next year, and like drive around or even fly down for some of those, because it just gives me more. Like I come down for shows, and I'm gonna be coming down for DJ gigs, shows, just meeting people, hanging out.
Yeah.
So if
I
I
think
have,
it'd be a great combination if somehow, like at the booth, you're putting some of your CDs out and maybe even playing a little music or
yeah,
whatever. Like, I feel like the vibe clashes perfect with Juggalos or take away Juggalos, like your whole metal deathcore or whatever you. I'm sorry,
well, I'll
demoncore.
have, for my DEMONCORE, I'm working on a mask. That's a demon mask of this dude. So I'll be wearing that, kind of like Slipknot, but my own version is made out of leather. So
Yeah.
it kind of like fits into that horror vibe more. So I'll be wearing that moving forward when it's like ready at shows, like my music shows, DJ events, and these oddities and curiosity. So like next year, they all happen during the year daytime. So if I can make it work, I'm gonna come down, even say to your area, do a daytime event, and then at nighttime go play a show, and or do a so yeah, that's a plan. Like next year, try to like get out more, meet people in person, and
Absolutely.
I think it's a good way to like make some extra income and make the travel possible. Like I want to go out more, but I can't afford to like just like I'm not at the place yet where people will just
Where
fly
you
me
can just
out.
up and like, yeah, I'm gonna go here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
No.
people won't pay me much to like, like there's like a fest happening in Texas, but they can't afford to pay for like my whole hotel, plane ticket, this and that. I'm not that
Right.
big yet. So I'm like, okay, how can I afford to like travel around? So if I do these the expos and events, I could like probably just pay my way into like all these things, but there's like a way for me to make enough back. So then I'm just there. And then that opens up, like, that makes it way easier. Like, yo, bro, I'm in your town. You got a show happening or you got a gig. Like, let's link up either
Right.
way. Come down. I get like free passes. So I could even just like get people in. So yeah, just like be nice to just be able to get out more and be in person, meet people, do a bunch of shit next year. So yeah, looking to get out more and just doing a whole bunch of shit just like all year round, not being stuck here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sam, you have been an amazing guest, my friend. There's nothing about this that has been lacking to me. I hope my questions have kept you entertained and haven't bored you too terribly much. We're going to get this man's links to anything he wants y'all to have. So, to his social medias, to all the platforms his music's on, and they're going to be found at the top of the description of this video. So y'all can click on it, start giving him plays, start giving him follows, start engaging with his social media posts. That helps his algorithm boost him, gets him out there, gets the social media to push him out there and do the footwork and stuff like that for him. Um, this is when I would invite you to give an outro, man. If there's anybody you want to shout out or anything, any last minute stuff that you may like to say or you may have left unsaid or wanted to say, or if you had any last minute questions or anything for me, the floor is yours, my friend.
Oh, thanks so much for having me on this. I haven't done an interview in a little bit, so really nice to just like, I think a perfect time to do interviews again now that I'm like playing a festival, connecting to this Juggalo fam community, and I like to like really invest my time and get to know uh, things when I'm like really getting into something. So by all means, reach out on socials. Anyone watching, I'll always message back everybody, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and yeah, go check out my music. I have like 90 something songs on Spotify and a few music videos on YouTube. I got my website. I got my Shopify store for merch. So yeah, just reach out, check out what I'm doing on social media. If you see me at the gathering, come say hi. I like to meet new people all the time. And yeah, that's basically it. It was a really
Yes,
fun doing
sir.
the interview. Thanks for all the questions. I had a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I like to end my interviews the same way every time, man. And that's probably never going to change. I like to end my interviews by saying, "Tell somebody you love them," because you don't know who needs to hear that, and it could be you. That changes their way of thinking, helps them get through their day. That moment of hard times and trials, you might have an answer because you've been there that they're overlooking because they're stressed out or just going through it. and you ain't got to go around conspicuously hating on people. And if you don't want to tell somebody you love them, tell them Wiggles loves them, okay? Because I got love for anybody that needs it. I've been there when I was 19 and homeless. Nobody was there for me. Nobody asked me if I was okay. When I was sitting on a park bench, they just thought I was a dirty kid. They didn't know I was homeless. They didn't say, hey, I can't give you $1, but I'll listen to you. What's going on? Nobody does that. So tell somebody you love them and, spread the word. And if not, tell them Wiggles loves them. Sam, thank you so much, homie. I'm looking forward to seeing you come the gathering, and I wish you well, man.
Thanks so much for having me. Have a good one. And looking
Yep.
forward to seeing when this comes out, and hope to meet you at the gathering.
Yes, sir. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. See you there.